how Diego went from 5 likes a week to 55 likes overnight and booked 4 dates in 1 weekend. So when me and Diego first started talking, he basically said that right now he's just not interested in a relationship or, something long term. He just wants to get more options. So basically we dissected, his current profile, his prompts and stuff like that. And obviously it's the big 3, which is bad photos, bad prompts, and he also said that he really needs help with messaging. So, any sort of traction that he did get, he couldn't really get him on a date. So we knew we had to dial that in. So if you have a look at his photos, this was his profile before. So really, low quality, a few with the shades on, which is fine. But his first photo, you don't really lead with sunglasses on. That's not what you should do. Because you need to grab attention right off the bat. Second photo, really low quality. Third one, again, it's like, the location in the background's fine, but it's just like he's presented himself bad there. Like it's just executed wrong. And then this fourth one is just, a blackout. You don't know what's going on there. And then this one's not too bad. And then I think he had like a blank 6th one as well. That's why there's only 5 on there. But yeah, not a bad looking guy, but just marketing himself poorly. Next, we had his prompts. So again, it's just the generic crap. My most irrational fear, elevators, good food and lots of it. And then, we'd book tickets when we're drunk. It's just stuff like this is how every guy basically does their prompts on Hinge. It's just you put in what you think is sort of acceptable, but they do nothing for you. Hinge prompts should be done in a way where they either create curiosity for the woman, bait them in to message you on something you've said, maybe a bit controversial, but like obviously done in the correct way. And then the third one is basically tapping into female attraction triggers. Okay. So these prompts right here, girls just look at them and do nothing with them. And that's not what they're designed to do. Your photos and your Hinge prompts should be like almost like a 50-50 split. So with my profile, for example, I get as many likes and as comments as I do on my photos, and that is a sign of a complete profile. It's not just the photos are 90% of the traffic. It's not. It's a split, and that is the sign, like I said, of a complete profile. So even if you got a good profile, good photos, you still want your prompts dialed in, okay? Because that's what separates you, and they're almost better than photos because if a girl is coming onto a prompt and she's commenting on that, it's already started a conversation. Whereas if she's just liking your photo, like, yeah, it's a good feeling, cool. But it's kind of harder to get a conversation going. And then next, like I said, is the messaging. He came to us and he wasn't confident. He didn't know what to say and stuff. So we decided to get that dialed in. So that's the big 3. It's not just Diego. This happens with basically, 90% of the guys on dating apps. Your photos are shit, your prompts are shit, and your messaging's shit. Guess what? You get no results because of that. So you just got to dial those 3 in. So like I said, those are the 3 problems. So we need to go and attack them now. And we got to start first with photos. So we knew that we had to get 6 really, really high quality images. And I done all this with AI. AI has gotten so good now that you basically don't need to, leave your house. And I know some guys in the comments and stuff like that say, oh, you're catfishing and all that. No, you're not. You're simply not, because it simply looks like you. It's your same head, your same face, your same body. What this AI system does, it just markets you better. We're not making ourselves better looking, more muscly, more ripped. We ain't doing none of that over here, because as soon as you turn up in person to that girl, she will report you for being a phony and a catfish, and you will get banned instantly, because Hinge, they preach authenticity. So the good thing with this AI system, it just markets and presents yourself better. Because like, if you're a guy who's not confident to go out in public and take photos, no camera angles, no good lighting, know how to pose correctly and stuff like that, different poses. If you haven't got anything, if you haven't got any of that down, then you're going to struggle anyway, because like all of a sudden, how are you going to get better at that? You know what I mean? So this AI system, that's what it does. It just eliminates that. So like I said, you don't need to go and find new locations. You don't need to bring a friend or a family member to take the photos for you. You don't need to feel like cringe and stuff like that, taking photos in public. You don't need to go abroad to find really cool backdrops and stuff. And like I said, thinking of how to pose and stand, which is like 90% of a good photo. If you stand like a dork in a photo, regardless of the bloody backdrop, it's going to look crap. So that's what this system does. So with that in mind, this is the 6 photos that I created him. And as you can see, just looking at that at a glance, it's just fucking quality. Like, look how good that shit is, you know? At a glance, it's so good. First photo, coming in with a strong masculine pose, sunset in the background, he's clearly on holiday. Then the second photo, showing his face correctly, because Hinge requires that. You need to show your face properly. You know, we're not trying to hide how we look and stuff like that. You're not going to get anywhere. So a good face guard shot in a restaurant, some food on the plate, and women like to visualize that as well. I always say in my short form content, if your photo can pass the litmus test being, if she can envision herself next to you or by you in the photo, it's probably a good photo, okay? So just think of her on the opposite side of you by her. That's what she's thinking about when she looks at a photo like this. And then third one, you know, he's in some London street or something like that, grabbing a drink, grabbing a coffee. And again, restaurant shot with the sunset again, rooftop bar with a pool, got the shades on, wick, look at the pose. Look at how cool that pose is. And what I like to say as well, having negative space in your photos as well, which is so good with this system, because that's a pretty balanced. So what I mean by that is, like, you're the subject and then all the negative space around you. So that is a pretty balanced shot. But if we add all 6 of them, it looks AI then, because that's all it can do. So this one, that's most of the negative space. Again, same there. And then look how much negative space we got over there. It just creates a different dynamic shot of the photo. And then same again here. And then this one, there's more to the right of him there. So that's what I mean about negative shots. It creates a really good aesthetic profile. And then obviously for the 6th one, then you want to end on a banger. And a tuxedo shot is that shot. One thing I want you to note as well, we're displaying ourselves obviously better, but we're not leaning against, you know, Lamborghinis, G-Wagons. We're not, you know, taking pictures on yachts and stuff like that. That is, like, you don't need to do that, guys, to have success on dating apps. You just need to present yourself better with posing, clothing, and location / backdrops. That's all you need, okay? You haven't got to be a 6'9" Chad to get results on dating apps. You haven't, okay? If you have a look on one of my previous videos on my YouTube, Matt is 5'9", and he fucking cleans up like 20 to 30 likes every day, and he's in London. You know, you haven't got to be a 6'9" Chad. You just haven't. So just get that out your head, okay? Anyone can create a profile like this with AI. Anyone can. All right. So that's the 6 photos that we created. So now I just want to show you the side-by-side comparison and just like look at the difference in terms of like why he was getting no results to why he is now getting results. Like I said, the first lead shot, it just needs to be so good, because like when like the competition on dating apps is so bad that girls are just Xing and swiping you off instantly. So if you've got like a random selfie or something like that doesn't grab attention, you just get X'd, and like that's why you just get no results. So if you have a shot like that, it's like, ooh, what's this guy a minute? And then she goes, oh, to the second one, to the third one, and it continuously builds attraction. It's designed in a way to like not get better as the photos go on, but like boom, grab attention, and then the rest the rest of them build attraction, and then you end on a banger then as well. You know, that's how you complete it. And then she makes her decision then. So as you can see, look at the quality, really blurry. It's not even going to get looked at. But like that's just like money shot. And I know a lot of people say in the comments on my videos, like, or not just on my comments, but saying, oh, you shouldn't have sunglasses and you shouldn't have this and that. It's like, guys, as long as you have a good face card like that, where you're clearly showing your face, you don't need another 5 photos like that. You don't need another 5 photos like that, okay? You need she can see your face. Okay, I'm attracted to him. I like the look of that. Okay, he's got a nice style about him. And then you just go, then you throw in shots then that just complete what a profile is supposed to be. So that's sort of like a coffee date that she's going to visualize. That's like a restaurant on a balcony on holiday or something like that. Like that's what you need to start like, putting in her brain. Again, he's not even looking at the camera there, can't even see his face really. It's just like a side profile shot. But like people will go, well, why is that on there? People on Reddit are crazy for that. Like there's a bunch of people pouring in their profiles asking for feedback, and the people commenting are saying all this stuff that doesn't work. So like that's why I'm showing you what works now. Again, shades on, like look at the environment, the setting, the pose is so candid. Like that's what works. iPhone style candid shots is what works on dating apps. And then, like I said, we're finishing with a strong tuxedo shot, looking off to the side again, So then we move on to phase 2, which is obviously prompt selection. So you need good photos, but you need good prompts as well, okay? So, I've tested many, many over the years, and the ones that work for me are these 3. You're leaning into curiosity, baiting them in, you're tapping into female attraction triggers, and there is no better prompt than this one here. I haven't run a prompt that gets more traffic than this. It is unbelievably good because you can change it to any hair color you want as well. Brunettes, blondes, redheads, whatever you want. And it attracts all of them, which is class. Blondes are my type. So I obviously put blondes, but if a hot brunettes come through, then I'll take them as well. That's the beauty of it. And then women love this as well. Oh, how are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? They're curious, so they comment on that, and that just prompts a conversation. And then obviously this one is like the masculine leader, which every girl wants. With these prompts, we're not saying that, we like to travel and your life story and stuff like that, and you like video games and Star Wars and stuff. Guys, like if you're a nerdy guy and you like Star Wars and stuff, like I like video games myself. Am I fucking going to put that on my profile though? No chance. They can find that out at a later date. Stop leading with stuff that guys are interested in and putting them on your profile, because girls, they don't care about that shit, Girls don't like dorks and that, So we want to be displaying ourselves as a confident masculine man, because that's what women are attracted to, okay? And that's what these prompts do. So that's what we did with Diego. Then we have phase 3, which is messaging. So you've got good photos, you've leveled up your prompts and stuff like that. Your profile is optimized. You're getting traffic to your page. You're sending out likes and stuff like that. You need to have, with all this traffic coming in and stuff like that and matchbacks, you need to have your messaging dialed in. I know a lot of guys say they're good at messaging, but they're all full of shit. Like the amount of guys that I talk to saying they're good at messaging and stuff like that. Oh my God, it's unbelievable. I look at their conversations and stuff. Guys, like just drop the ego. I'm not here to, you don't have to try and impress me. Like I don't care. I'm just trying to help as much as I can. And like coming into the DMs with the ego saying you're good at talking and stuff is crazy to me, because you want help for a reason. Just drop the ego. It's cool. I'm down to help. I don't care. So most guys say they're good at texting. Maybe you had a couple of good combos with a couple of girls, but can you repeat that with every girl, no matter how fit she is and stuff like that, to get yourself dates? Because like that's what it's about. It's about going from first message all the way to phone number, and then obviously setting up a date successfully, because it is a delicate dance. You always got to come from the frame of like, you're a creep until proven otherwise. You have to make her feel comfortable and stuff like that. There's a way of doing it. I know so many guys who they're talking to a girl on the dating app and stuff, and like they're shooting for the number like way too early without gauging her interest, and they just get like so much resistance and like ghosting from it. Like that's not the way you're doing it, because I know a lot of guys, what they do, they'll see like other dating coaches and stuff where they're like, like a Chad or whatever, and you'll be able to like command numbers because like he's so good looking, and they think that they can go and do the same. Guys, like there's levels to this for a reason, like it just doesn't work like that for everyone. And like that's why I never promote that on my page, because like I can say some dumb shit on dating apps and get away with it, right? I can, but that does nothing for you guys who can't do that, So I don't promote it, and that's why I've built these 5 stages, so every guy can get results with messaging, because it doesn't have to be hard. So like I said, Diego, he came to us with very poor text game, and he wanted to level that up. So I took him through my five stages, which are stage one. So you're either going to be, well, everyone is sending likes. Everyone is sending likes, okay, with Hinge Plus. And then obviously you're receiving likes as well, okay? Depending on your level of attractiveness, some guys are going to get way more likes than others. That's just the way it is, okay? No one can change that. It's all dependent on how you look, your height, where you're from, all that crap, okay? It just comes into play. It just does. Unfortunately, we can't change that, okay? So everyone is sending likes out, and then everyone is receiving likes. It's just some, again, more than others, okay? Stage two is your preset message. So if you're receiving a like on your 6 photos, you will basically get a preset line built out for you, and you will send that every time you get a like, okay? So I just need to show you that. So when it comes to the preset messages, whenever this is what happens when you work with me, you will get your whole profile built out, right? And then you will have messages that you will send for each photo that you get a like on. So this one, for example, was it the sunset or the intense eye contact? This is how you can expect a date abroad to look. Yes, I'll wear this if you need a +1 to a wedding. Like this is how fun, playful conversations get started right off the bat, okay? Because like if you're getting a like on, photo 3, for example, and you just reply, hey, holy shit, you've just wasted that interest from that girl. You need to come in better than her. That's how it works, all right? So like that's what that can look like. And obviously with the prompts as well, it's the same thing. You will get preset messages built out for your prompts, so you always know what to say. I always want you dialed in. So like that's why we build out something like that for you. And then basically once you've sent that preset message, then stage 3 is determine her interest level. So basically you assess a response. So if you're saying this is how you can expect me to look on a date abroad, and she replies with like a blunt one-worded response, you basically go, that's low effort, I'm probably going to ghost her now. You know what I mean? Like that's how it works. But if she's come in with a really good response, playful response, then you know the conversation is back on, and then we can go into the next stage. That's basically what it works, okay? And then stage 4, which is the hardest stage, is getting her invested in the conversation with some flirty back and forth messages. So this can be, a few messages back and forth. It's the hardest because unfortunately there is no script for it. You have to get a bit creative, not let it get boring and stuff like that. And like I said, it is the hardest because there will never be a script for this style of conversation, because it's impossible, because every conversation is different with every girl. And then once we've got her invested in the conversation, we've gauged her interest, she's being playful back, she's definitely into us, then we can look to shoot for the number and obviously secure it. So like that's the 5 stages. I got loads of these conversation breakdowns on my Instagram. If you want to go and have a look on the story highlights, go and check them out. I use it with every girl, and I get numbers so easily. So what is the result of dialing in phase 1, your photos, phase 2, your prompts, and then phase 3, your messaging? Like what does that look like? So this is the result of what we got Diego. So within 3 days, he's uploaded images to me, okay? So like for the image references for the software, he sent them to me, and then within a day, I've got his photos back to him, okay? That's another good thing about the AI photos. You don't need to go and, spend a couple of weeks trying to get really good photos with different locations and stuff like that. It can be done in a day. That's the beauty of it. So if you're a guy who's like, like I said, can't be asked to go out and get their photos done and not confident enough, that's why this is so appealing. So within a day, I had his photos completely built out and his prompts. And then overnight, Diego had 55 likes sent to him, which is 10x to what he used to get in a single week, which is insane. Look at that. And then instantly into 28 combos over the next couple of days. I said, yo, bro, how are the likes getting on? Many come through last night, this morning. He said, oh yeah, crazy amount of likes I got. I think around 55, mostly yesterday after 8 p.m. And a girl that I sent a rose on the standouts matched with me, never got anything like that. It's crazy. Then when you get that many likes sent to you, basically the algorithm, Hinge, they put you on the standouts. That's why you always see like the hottest girls on the standouts, because they're just getting the most likes from guys. So like, how about we just like role reverse that? Let's get on the standouts ourselves. And then you just get sent roses then from girls and stuff. And then, like I said, when you get your profile dialed into the best it can be, women start making the first move, which is really good. And then the dynamic of like having a conversation with a girl who was like really interested in you is night and day, and it's so much flowy, it's so much better, and it's like way easier to get numbers as well. And as you can see, like, these are hot women, guys. Like, we're not you know, a lot of people say, you know, what's the quality like and stuff like that. Guys, there's going to be hot birds when you get so much volume and you're sending out that many likes. This is the result of a good, optimized, top quality profile and prompts and stuff like that. Yeah. So like I said, when you get that much traffic, your messaging got to be dialed in. So, you know, we took him through the 5 stages, and he was getting numbers after numbers, going on so many dates, and he's going on as many dates as he wants now as well. Like, he got so much volume coming through. He can just choose and select who he wants to go on a date with. You know, when you go that much volume, you select who you go on a date with. And, you know, it's funny because he wanted options and I gave it to him, and he just uses it now. And it's literally four dates this weekend, got 4 numbers so far, 23 of them are good matches. It's just like, that's what I'm trying to create. I'm trying to create that abundance mindset for guys, because you haven't got to be a Chad to get results on dating app. It's absolutely bullshit. Like, if you're thinking that, if you're sat there and you're thinking that, remove that from your mind entirely, because it's a load of shit. You're not ugly, bro. You just don't know how to market yourself or message women that lead to dates. So if you want me to implement this whole system with you on your dating profile, in your dating life, then message me the word system on Instagram. This is my Instagram right here. Message me the word system and we can look to get started. If you just want AI photos done for yourself and stuff like that, there is a link in the description. Click that, give that a read and stuff like that if that's something you want. But other than that, I'll see you in the next video.